What is up, fam? This is Cashflow and Coffee with my business partner, Tyler Wanaka. We are here to answer all of your questions right now. Guys, if you're on Instagram, come on to YouTube. I'm not going to answer questions on Instagram. If you have questions in your real estate business, come on to YouTube. I'll be answering literally all of them, and it's going to be amazing. That's what we do on this podcast every Monday, 9:15 a.m. MST. So yeah, that's what we do. We answer real estate questions, and we'll do all that. And yeah.
Luke is on top of it, man. He's been waiting.
What?
I said Luke is on top of it. He's been waiting for his
Yeah. Luke's already in here. We already got questions filling in, guys. I appreciate that. Again, come on to YouTube if you actually want your questions answered right now. So let's get into it. Okay. Spoke with an agent that wants to start wholesaling. I gave 2 ways we could work together. 1, get the listing agreement and I will wholesale it. 2, get it under contract and we'll JV. Is there any other way to work with them and build a relationship? Not really. To be honest, I almost never even tell them about the JV option unless I've done a ton of deals with them. Like, to me, I always want the listing agreement because like they're getting paid way less. If they're so good that it's worth it to pay them more, where they're going to keep bringing tons and tons of deals, then I would do the second option. But those are basically the only 2 ways I know how to work with them. I don't know. What about you, Tyler? Do you have any ideas?
No, I mean, I think those 2 are the best options. Just kind of like, if you can, on the first one at least, try to get the purchase contract, and then you could just walk the agent through the rest of the transaction as you're trying to find a buyer and things like that. If they obviously already know you're wholesaling it, you can just show them the ropes of like how you're doing it. And then on future properties, if they feel, comfortable enough to try to get it under contract before sending it to you as like a listing, then you can kind of do it that way. But I think those are the two best ways.
Love it. How do you handle when an agent sets up / offers to set up an MLS search for you, assuming the issue with how I'm introducing myself? How do you handle when an agent sets up offers to set you up an MLS search for you? Oh, you tell them no. That's what you do. I don't know why you didn't. That's the very simple answer. You say, no, I don't want an MLS search. What I'm looking for are for problems you've heard about, right? There's absolutely no way an MLS search is going to find me what I want, right? You're going to have to actually talk to agents on the MLS. Now, you don't have to literally do that. I want to go for ones that you have under contract anyways, not really ones that are on the MLS randomly. Because what I do is I solve problems. I don't buy fixers, I solve problems. That's what I do better than anybody else. When you make it about a problem, then they start getting it a little bit. Some realtors don't like that. Some of them are like, no, I just want to put on random offers on the MLS all day and waste both of our times. But
my line for that, when they still want to keep doing that, is I already have a team, like an in-house team who are licensed that submit all of our on-market MLS offers. So I just kind of let them do their thing, and I try not to interfere with anything because likely if you send me any MLS properties, we would have already seen it. Or like me, not me specifically, but my team may have already seen it or submitted an offer on it. So I work just the off-market side of things. And so really that's what I'm trying to connect with agents for right now. And then they kind of understand that our team already beat you to it most likely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, it's just, you just say no. I mean, there's nothing about just introducing yourself. It's just, you got to like let them know. No.
Yeah, it's just about setting those expectations. Like a lot of people don't set those expectations of what they're actually looking for. And then that's when they run into issues. Because we never run into issues where agents are we rarely at least run into issues where agents just keep sending us MLS issues or setting us up on MLS searches because we're setting the expectations of exactly what we're looking for up front.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Okay, guys, now that we've been going, we got 8 people on here. What questions do you guys have? What are you guys dealing with, right? I mean, I can go through the old questions that people have been asking me through the week, but why not? You're watching this. This is your time to get, guys, we have 218K in escrow right now. Like, we will help you get the exact same thing, right? All you need to do is just ask us the question. So let us know. Okay, I'm just going to put in questions that I've been getting throughout the week. Oh, Luke's got another. How do you become less agreeable? Josiah talked about it at the mastermind. Being less agreeable makes you better at ACK. You don't become it, you are it, right?
That's a personality.
It's a personality thing. I used to be way more agreeable, to be honest. The only way to become less agreeable is you really start getting annoyed with people. Like people start using you, taking advantage of you. That's actually what it is, right? Most people are agreeable, but then like if they're agreeable and then they start seeing how they're losing because of it, then they become less agreeable. That's kind of me. I used to be very much more of an agreeable person, much more kind, much more like not serving of others, but just willing to be taken advantage of. And then I became much more disagreeable over time as I realized that like that wasn't serving me at all and it was annoying me, right? So I've become more disagreeable as time went on because I've realized if I just ask and stay firm in whatever I want, I get more of what I want. That's why it works really well in acquisitions, is because that person is going to get you more of what you want because they know how to get what they want for themselves, right? They're like, okay, no, I want this price. Here's why I need it. And they're able to sit in that. An agreeable person will be like, well, maybe like if maybe we can come to an agreement. It's like, no, this is the price, right? Like that's why it's better to be disagreeable as an ag person.
You can negotiate a little bit.
But in terms of like hiring, you're just gonna find the person who's disagreeable, right? That's just what it is, you know.
What's up,
Kevin?
Well,
Jason, that book I have all of my ACK managers read. It's a required reading. It's the best book on sales in my opinion. I like it. Just that and the Sandler system are the two best. Do you guys have an accountability group you recommend? Honestly, I'm not like a huge fan of accountability groups. What I do is I have a business coach who keeps me accountable to my goals. I don't know why you need a whole group. You need just one person who keeps you accountable at the very least. Tyler also keeps me accountable, right? Obviously, because we're business partners. So if I'm really good at doing what I need to do. But if I'm not doing what I need to do, he's on me like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, we need to get shit done, right? And vice versa, you know? Both of us are pretty good at it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't like really matter either way. Like I'm not a fan of accountability groups. Usually accountability groups are just a bunch of people who haven't done deals coming together and talking about nothing. I feel like, don't you agree? I feel like that's what it is most of the time.
That's so true. Like I would recommend you finding one person, like, and becoming just a friend that you can grind with. Like sometimes this stuff kind of gets lonely, right? So like having a friend that you can bounce ideas off of, even if they're not like a partner or anything, and then you guys just check in with each other and see like how's it going and stuff like that. But one person is probably solid. But when you have a group, like Jonah said, a lot of the times it's just a lot of people who haven't done anything.
And I'm not saying like doing work in a group can be good. Like having an environment around you that's motivating you is good. But an accountability group, like where we're literally just going to meet and be accountable to each other. If none of you have done a deal, none of you know how to run an accountability group. So it's not going to work. I'm not a fan of them, to be honest. That's my personal opinion on them. I think you should just do it and like be accountable to one person who's like, hey, did you actually do that last time? I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Luke, I am super agreeable and super friendly by nature. I just got to lose some deals. LOL. Thanks, Jason. I just got that one on Audible. Yeah, and it's not being disagreeable doesn't mean you're not friendly. I think you can still be really, really friendly. You're just not overly friendly, right? Like I can be friendly when I want to be friendly, right? But I also am not going to waste time either, right? So it's like a balance, right? What you really want is a balance, but for an ACT person, it's more and more and more disagreeable because you have to start realizing that they're wasting your time, that you're losing money for your family, that they're going to screw with you, right? And that they might even yell at you. Like when you've had enough people yell at you, you become much more disagreeable. I've become much more disagreeable as I realize that people lie and people like try to screw you over. That doesn't mean be an asshole, right? Disagreeable doesn't mean you're an a-hole. It means that you get to the point, you're being respectful but quick to it, and also it means that you just are arguing for yourself and what you want, and you're not automatically starting to think about what the other person wants, right? In a negotiation and in general, right? That's why act managers are really good if they're somewhat disagreeable. But I'll sometimes be agreeable if like the person is like dealing with an insanely difficult situation. I'll cut my fee down 10K, right? Like I'm not an a-hole. Like I will help the person out. That's what I'm here to do, right? But I'm also not going to let you out of a contract just because you feel like it and you got a higher offer, right? While an agreeable person might because they're scared of conflict, right?
That's really what it is there a lot of agreeable people just don't have the experience and they're scared of that situation.
They're
That's
scared of
why.
conflict. While like I'm not that scared of conflict anymore, it definitely gets my heart racing still, but like, and I don't like it and it takes a lot out of me because I actually am naturally agreeable. I've become disagreeable because I want to get what I want, right? And I knew it has to happen in order to do it, but it does take a lot out of me, you know. Good looking out, you guys. Super lonely in my basement, lol. Like Luke, like I would like I'm not saying like you could like join like the virtual office. I know you're part of Astro, so you could join the virtual office of like Renee and just do work together. That's a great idea, right? Like I don't think that's a bad idea at all because you're around people who are doing the work with you, right? So I think that's an amazing idea. Like I think it's good to be around people doing deals. I don't think it's good to just meet, try to be accountable to each other, and then do nothing. How do you advise new real estate investors who ask which wholesaling list, niche, or strategy should start with? You want to start with that? I have my answer to that.
Well, I just first off try to find out like what are they looking for? Like why would they even want to do that? And then what's their goal about it? Because depending on like what you're looking for, I think would also depend on your strategy and then also how that person is. Because like there's like three main strategies or like three only strategies pretty much: direct seller, direct agent, and like JVs.
For wholesaling.
Yeah, of wholesaling. Um, a lot of the times, if they're like looking to just have an extra side thing of like something that they can do with the deals that they don't buy, then I would just recommend them to stick with, likely they're doing direct to seller for their flips. So I would just recommend them to stick with flips and just on the ones that they don't want to buy, they would send to someone like you or someone who has experience in selling deals and you can help them wholesale those deals. But if they're trying to start like a full-fledged wholesale business and just get away from flips or just have a completely separate business, I would recommend just something that worked for me, right? Which is agent outreach or JVs and dispositions. And then also depending on like their personality type. But like if you, for example, Alan, was really good at direct to seller, it would just make sense that you recommend something that you know works or that you know that you've done. But what do you think, Jonah?
It depends completely on who you are. I always say that. In terms of wholesaling list or niche, there's no magic wholesaling list. The strategy completely depends on what type of human being you are, right? Tyler is an integrator. Integrators do incredibly well dispositioning other people's JV deals. They naturally are going to be better at that because they not saying like Tyler's conflict avoidant or disagreeable or agreeable or any of that right now, but like they can create a system where they're just dispositioning quickly because it's all about speed and that depends on how good your system is, right? So I really like recommending dispositioning other wholesalers deals to integrators, right? If you're love talking to people, super friendly, really like connecting with other human beings, I would say go acquisitions or agent acquisitions, right? One or the other. Like agent acquisitions and acquisitions, direct to seller, they're both amazing methods, right? And so, yeah, like I would say, um, do those two methods if you're like visionary, like talking to people a lot more than creating systems and CRMs and messing around with all that stuff. I would do acquisitions, and then yeah, and I would just find the other one too. Like I think what I did that I don't feel like I really needed to do, although I did it anyways, was like as an acquisitions, I should have just found one dispositions person and just stuck with them. To be honest, that's what I should have done, right? And I think that acquisitions people shouldn't disposition at all. They should just focus on all acquisitions, right? And then when they partner up or they start creating a better system, then they can worry about dispositions. That's how I view it. It's completely dependent on who you are as a human being. That's what I always ask, who are you first, basically, when I'm talking to somebody. Hey, Joan and Tyler, I'm starting to reach out to agents using the Scorch method. Nice. I'm a sub-2 student. I also wanted to add in additional calls and reach out to low equity listings. I have a W-2. Cool. And planning to wholesale all creative and cash deals at first. Should I only focus on the Scorch method, or are they close enough that it shouldn't be too much of a lift to do both? They're pretty close that I think you should be able to do both, right? What I would do, Alan, I don't know what market you're in, but if you're in Colorado or California, but especially Colorado, hit us up. We'll help you with everything on the disposition side. What you need is a dispositions person and also someone to buy your creative deals and help you out with the closing creative deals at the beginning. It's pretty easy to close cash deals with agents. I think you can figure it out. Closing creative deals at the beginning can be a little bit rough. So having someone you know, right? You're in North Carolina, hit up what's wrong with me? Chad Glover. Chad Glover is amazing. He's awesome in North Carolina. He is a beast. If you hit him up, look up Chad Glover on Instagram, text him, say Jonah Corchin sent me over. He said you're a beast in Charlotte, and I want to send you deals exclusively. He'll start helping you out, right? And we'll be here to help you out with any deals that are that require agents and all that stuff, right? But he'll be able to help you close creative deals and dispo the deals, and that's more important for you right now, I would say. You got anything on that, Tyler?
I disagree with you actually.
Oh
I think you
shit!
should
Sorry,
only focus on one thing. I think if he's going to be taking extra time with a W-2 out of his day to call low equity listings and things like that, I just think with him having a W-2, he should spend 100% of every time that he has doing one of those things. Which I think the best thing would just be the Scorch method, reaching out to agents and trying to get as much cash deals done as possible so you can not be at your W-2, unless you just want
I
to.
actually agree with that. I kind of forgot you had a W-2, man. Because the fact you have a W-2 does make me actually feel like you should listen to Tyler.
That's what I think. And then eventually, like once you are not at your W-2 and you have more time, I would still obviously keep trying to scale up your cash side of things, just working with agents and hiring things out. Then once you're freed up a little bit, you can start trying to do some
Also, wholesaling creative deals kind of blows, to be real. You're gonna get like most average like 5 to 10K a wholesale deal on creative deals because the entry fee has to stay low. Well, cash deals you can get insanely higher because it's based on how low you can get it, right? Our average now, me and Tyler's, is probably like 60K per deal, averaging, because we'll have some that are 20 and then we'll have some that are 100K, right? And that's because we're focusing on cash deals. You will never have a 100K entry. You will never get 100K off a creative wholesale deal, right? So you're a heavy integrator. Lost a lot of money on a DTA VA business in the past. Lessons learned. Alan, you might do better doing like a micro flipping business. I don't know who's doing an insane amount of micro flips in sub 2 is the hard part. I don't think that's a strategy that Pace likes that much or talks about that much. I I got to like figure out who you should follow on that, right? Because I really feel like microflipping is the move if you're an integrator and you're not really that good at sales. I don't know. That's hard. Astro teaches it, but it's really hard for sub 2 people in that sense. I'm trying to think. Like I'd have to see who's like heavy dispositions. I know Faisal is, but he's not very active in the community. I'd have to like look it up. There's like a lot of things. I feel like you and me should create a microflipping course eventually at some point. But I don't know. Yeah, that's hard. Integrators are it's just like direct to agent. Like you can do it as an integrator. You can do direct to seller as an integrator. It's just going to be harder for you, right? Another good thing to do would be to like as an integrator is to partner up with an AC person. Like just be like, hey, I'm going to send you I'm going to create an insane system for you to get leads. And then and then I'll dispo them and then you split them 50-50. But I don't like that as much. Be better just to be the dispo and just find a ton of wholesalers to dispo their deals. That's how I feel. Luke, I'm an integrator working at Scorch Method. I'm actually pretty good on the phone, but when you switch over hiring that out and building out, what am I really good at? Luke, I don't think I don't know if I feel like you're not an integrator. Based on when I've talked to you, I don't really feel like you're an integrator. What I would need you to say, what makes you think you're an integrator? Like, what do you like spending your time doing all day? I think you like being on the phones. Like if you actually enjoy, it's not about whether you're good or bad at being on the phones. It's about if you enjoy being on the phones. Like you get energy from being on the phones, right? I get energy from it. That's what I do best. I start draining energy when I start working on the system and trying to figure out why the hell it isn't working, right? And it's the opposite for Tyler, right? That's where you got to see like where's your energy being drawn versus where's your energy being gained. How do you feel about that?
Well, I do agree with you. I think that every integrator and visionary obviously is very different, right? Like there are some visionaries who are also kind of integrators, or there are some integrators who are also like kind of visionaries, or just integrators who are good at
Yeah,
systems
it's
that
a
are also like
spectrum.
good at sales, right?
It's
So
a
it's not,
spectrum, guys. Like I
yeah.
created a system. It's not like my system was absolutely dog crap. I was still able to make a decent enough system on my own. It just was a struggle. I didn't
Well,
enjoy it.
yeah, Luke, you might think you're an integrator because you're decent at making systems or something like
Because you're an
that.
engineer and you're W2. Yeah, but like if you could choose which one you're doing all day, would you rather be talking to people on the phones or would you rather be creating a CRM? Think about that. And whichever one that is, whichever one you're like, no, I'd much rather be talking to people, or no, I'd much rather be creating a system. That's a really good question to ask, like where you actually do it. I know engineers who are visionaries, right? Elon Musk is a visionary engineer, right? Like it doesn't necessarily mean you're an integrator just because you're an engineer.
So wait, Luke, I'm kind of confused on your original question then, because you're saying I'm an integrator working AC, I'm good on the phone, but when would you switch over hiring that out and building out what? Oh, I'm sorry, I read your question wrong.
Yeah, I also didn't answer your question at all. I just don't think you're an integrator. Like that's because I've talked to him on the phone before. I've talked to Luke before. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Answer that
Well,
question.
either
Luke. And
way,
if you tell me you're honestly more happy creating the system, then I'm wrong. You know?
at some point you have to hire that out, or you're just not going to scale.
Yeah.
So I
So
think this question is like, when would that be?
when I get it, when you have 3 months of reserves for whatever job you're hiring for.
And if you have a proven system that you know works for yourself. But if you're still trying to figure out what works for yourself, then you're not ready to hire.
Right. What markets are you guys doing cash deals? Northern California and Colorado is where we're doing it. So you can DM me on IG deals, and then I'll connect you to my AC manager, and he'll underwrite them and tell you whether they're good deals or not, Harvey, in either Colorado or Northern California. What a nice place to be. What's up, Augustin? I have an amazing idea for Zyper. Let's fucking go. Let me know. Hit up Tyler about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, bro.
Zyper's our CRM guys. Go to www.zyper.com if you want the best agent outreach CRM in the game. Awesome, super helpful. I really appreciate you both for everything and the time you spend helping the community. Yeah, we're always here. I need to think deeper on that. Thanks. I think I am more visionary. Sorry, I'm at work typing on the phone in between meetings. Yeah, I know you're more visionary. I've talked to you on the phone, dude. Like, I don't care if you're an engineer. You are definitely much more visionary to me than like integrator, right? I'm going to also put in the chat. There's an integrator versus visionary quiz, right? Online that I'm going to find for you guys right now. Hold on. I'm going to find it. Tyler, say something interesting while I find this quiz.
The good thing, Luke, that you don't have to worry about is even if you are visionary, you're trained as an engineer. So you're not going to be an idiot when it comes to making systems. So that's a good thing. You don't have to like rely on someone else. Like there are people who just are atrocious at making systems. Like, yeah. And luckily you don't have to worry about that because
yeah, it's good that you can create somewhat of a system. I found the quiz. Here it is, guys. Go to that website. Take the rocket fuel quiz on whether you're a visionary or integrator. It'll ask you a bunch of questions to double check. Luke, I'm almost positive you're a visionary. You just think you're an integrator because you're an engineer, but that doesn't mean you're an integrator. Just because you're an engineer does not mean you're an integrator. Typically they are, but that doesn't necessarily mean it is, right? You're probably trying to leave your engineering job because you're like, God, this is draining me. I'm willing to bet. And then if that's true, then I really think you're a visionary, right? And then I'm going to be like, yeah, this guy's a visionary. He just chose the complete wrong career field.
Do we have any additional questions in the
not in the chat right now, but I mean we got some from over the week, right?
Yeah.
We can answer one of them. Because I know it's 8:45 right now. What are some good questions to ask agents to see if they'll be a great fit for an investor?
Do you work with investors? Yes.
Amazing.
Or no?
There you go. Literally. I mean, that's basically it, right? Like, I mean, there's no great fit. Anyone who's willing to work with us, I think, is good enough, right? Like, obviously, they're better if they're more experienced, have like more connections, all that good stuff, obviously. But the main thing to know is are they willing to even work with investors? And if they're at that point where they're even willing to work with you, then you're solid. You're good to go, right?
There is no vetting process for these agents. Like, if you tell them what you do and they're like, yeah, I'll keep you in mind, then that's good enough.
Right. Exactly. Do you guys solely have a wholesale company, or have you guys started developing an RE portfolio of passive income? I own a few rentals. I don't think Tyler owns any. We like focusing, guys. We're focusing right now on building out our entire wholesale business to where it's automated and we can just keep opening up markets over and over and over again every 6 months. Right now, that's the most important thing. Me and Tyler, we're planning on starting to buy multifamily because I don't like single family rentals that much. We're planning on starting to look into buying multifamily and starting that probably the beginning of next year is when we'll start like owning more multifamily assets. I'll buy creative deals. If you have a creative deal, single family, just send it to me. If I can find someone to manage it, I'll just buy it, right? Like I'm a buyer. I don't really wholesale that much. And I'll buy a creative deal if it comes through our agent acquisition pipeline, because every once in a while we'll get a creative deal, right? So that'll, that happens, right? When's the next challenge, Zapier/Deal Central? Augustine, let us know, bro. I say we do it once a month. That's my feel.
I would be saying.
Now and I'm down.
Let's do it.
What's Tyler's role at the company? Honestly, Tyler does nothing. He just
I don't really do anything, guys. Like I'm kind of just
honestly, I gave up half my company for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Tyler, you tell him what you do.
I work mostly the day-to-days. I create all of the systems. I handle any issues that pop up. And basically anything that Jonah comes to me with, I'm basically his filter for his millions of ideas that he comes to me with every day. And I say yes or no. And if it's possible, and sometimes he just thinks, sometimes I think it's not possible. And then he just like jams it down the filter and it ends up being possible.
Well, sometimes you think certain things aren't possible, that I'm like, obviously that's possible. Like, just think about it. Just think harder, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's really what I am. I'm a big filter for everything that Jonah wants to do. And then I take those things that pass through the filter and I turn them into a reality. I create the systems around it. I train the people on it. And then other than that, obviously throughout the day, I'm just handling any issues or helping any of the team members out with things as far as systems or pretty much anything except like sales. Because
And
that's
eventually he's going to do that too. Like,
yeah.
I'm right now. The real question is, what do I do in the company? I feel like that's the
Seems
bigger
like I do
question.
everything.
Because like, I feel like the integrator basically does everything. What I do is I drive the company forward. I create a vision. I say, no, like this isn't working. We need to be doing this now, right? Like, I'm the one who's like, no, this is possible. Screw you guys. We're going for it, right? We're doing 1.25 million this year. That's a minimum goal, right? And then Tyler's like, all right, I guess we're fucking doing it. Let's make it happen.
And he has the ideas too, right? And then he makes things happen like this, like these podcasts and like getting our brand out
I
there.
do a lot with, I bring external resources to him.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I just met someone who's going to do all our HR, right? Like, and I'm like, Tyler, connect. This is our new HR person, right?
And then now I go and I make that HR stuff happen. But like, I didn't have to do anything to go find someone for HR. I don't have to know anyone to raise private capital. That's Jonah, right? Like things like that. That's more like a visionary, just being out there and bringing those resources and ideas into the company to be able to grow it. That's why we work so well, because when I'm by myself, I can create things, but I don't know like where those creations are going. But when I have someone like Jonah, I know exactly where we're headed, which is awesome. Because like the way I like to explain it, being a heavy integrator, when I'm working by myself is like I'm working with like blinders on. That's like that's how it feels. And then when I have a visionary like Jonah, those blinders are off, and now I can see the gates of heaven of where we're going.
Basically, right? And vice versa for me. When I didn't have an integrator, I had to see the vision and do everything, which drains me. It drains me from being able to see the future, right? And I work slowly on like making things actually happen in comparison to Tyler, who makes things happen fucking quickly, right? So it's a really good combo. Having a visionary integrator combo is 100% necessary. It doesn't have to be a 50-50 partner. It can be somebody that you hire. And I honestly think 95% of the time, that's what you should do. But me and Tyler, just the magic was there, and it's already been magical. So like, it's going to obviously be worth it. Good morning, Jade. Good to see you. Okay. What time are we at? 9:52, 9:53. I'm going to end it here, guys, because we got to get to our morning meeting. Tyler, I'm going to be there for a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to be there forever because I got to pack and like keep doing laundry and get on the Austin Zabax podcast.
Okay.
But I'll be on there for a little bit. Guys, thank you guys so much for coming to Cashflow and Coffee. Remember, if you enjoyed this, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And then also, we do this Monday, 9:15 a.m. MST every single Monday. This week, Scorch the Fierce is going to be with Jameson Williams. He's a beast with his Keeley franchise. He's awesome. He's doing an insane amount of deals. That'll be fun this Thursday. So yeah, come on. That'll be 5 p.m. PST. I might be doing it soon live because, guys, I'm about to do a mastermind event, guys. I've been keeping this under wraps. It's going to be so fucking awesome. This mastermind event that I'm doing, it's going to be really sick. It's going to be in Denver in around October. Or September. I think it'll be September. So I'm going to be doing a live to start promoting that. And you guys will get so much out of that event. If you guys want to come in Denver and hang out, I'm going to bring some awesome people there. It's going to be cool. It's going to be an amazing time. I'm going to end it there. What do you got any last words for the people, Tyler?
You got everything handled, my friend.
All right, good. All right, guys. I will see y'all next week. Let's go.